we'll- so good evening, everyone. Today we'll be going through two programs. That is, first one is we'll see how to implement an insertion sort, and the other one is how to insert a merge sort using list, that is using arrays. Okay, whenever we're talking about list, we are either talking about string or else we're talking about arrays. All right. These are all the example based on your previous knowledge of theory classes. Okay. Firstly, we'll go to the first program immediately, that is our implementing insertion sort. Okay. As you can see over here, I told you whenever we are going through these programs, we are using functions. Okay. In Python, functions are called as methods. Okay. So I'll be using methods from here on. Yeah. Now, if you carefully look at the highlighted part of the program, you can see that insertion underscore sort is our method. Okay, is our function that is to be defined. Okay, so function, we have to do 3 steps, right? One is you have to define a function. The other one is you have to call that function. Okay, and the third one is you have to give the data inside the function. Okay, what it should do, that should be written. All right. Now here we are doing the first step, that is defining a function. What is our function? Our function is sorting. Okay, we are also inserting and sorting. What are we sorting? We are sorting a list. Okay, so a list is being mentioned in the bracket. Clear? This whole completely makes up the function definition. Okay, now it is ended with a colon. All right. Okay. Now we have defined a function. Okay. Then inside a function, I want to print the statement and enter the element multiple times. Isn't it? I want to mention it multiple times. For that, what I have to do is, I have to use for loop. Okay. For loop is nothing but a recurring loop. Okay. Now, what is the length of the number, or what you can say, how many number of elements we want to be inserted in a list? Okay. Now, that depends on person to person, right? So, that range, if we have to specify it all together, what we have to do is, for I, okay, I takes up all the data, okay, that is inside the range. You can see there is one more function that is being used, that is length function. Okay. Now, inside this bracket, range is from 1. See, whenever we're talking about 1, we are talking about index. Okay, all these are index values. I always carries index values. Okay, it is not the element that it is carrying. All right. Yeah, forget it now. No, remember it. I always carries index values. So the range of index values that have to be inserted into a list are from 1 till the end of the list. Suppose there is A, B, C, D, E. Okay, then we have 5 elements in the list, right? So the range is from 1 to 5. Okay. Now, inside this for loop, we have a temporary variable, that is temp. That is over here. Okay. Now, this temporary variable contains the index values of the list. Okay. I represents the index values. It is of a list. So, a list bracket I. Okay. Now, you can see there is another value, that is j. Now, here we are using 2D list. Okay. Now, what is a 2D list? It has rows and columns. All right. Index values are nothing but row values. All right. They are in horizontal line or sleeping line position, right? So index values are nothing but your row values. Okay. And J represents your column values. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, I want my J to start from index value 0. Okay. Because I's range we are giving as 1. Isn't it? but I want my j to start from I minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay. So I want to put my j, or my j will be looking at the 0th index of the list. Okay. While as my I will be looking at the first index value of the list. Okay. Next, we'll go to while. Okay. Now, we know that while is a conditional statement. Okay. Which means that only if the condition is satisfied. Okay. Only if the condition is satisfied, then then it enters the loop. If the condition is not satisfied, it comes out of the loop. All right. Inside the condition is, you can see, while j is greater than or equals to 0. Okay. Temp is less than a list of j. This is our condition. Okay. What it should do? A list should be, j should be incremented, and the new value of j should be added over here. Okay. J should be incremented and the new value of j should be added here. Okay. And it should be saved in the temporary variable. The new value of j should be stored in the temporary variable. Okay. Now, we are asking them to give us the list of numbers. Okay. See, they are making use of split here. I told you what is a split? It divides words, right, of a sentence. Similarly, the numbers also will be divided because there will be a space in between those numbers, right? Yeah, that is how it will split. And the length of the number is also getting from this split function. Okay. Nextly, yeah, that's it. We are putting the value of x. X is nothing but our numbers. X is being put in the A list. Okay. Now, this function that we have defined here, we are calling it. Okay. We are calling it here. Insertion, sort. Okay. After we call it, we have to print what are the sorted values. Okay. That's it. All right. Yeah. So this is the end of the program. If you look over here, this is the output we should get. That is, the user should give us few inputs. Okay. That how do we ask them to give us input? We'll just print one statement called enter a list of numbers. Okay. So user will understand. He'll give me the inputs. Then it will sort. It will follow all the rules over there. And the final list will be printed over here. Okay. Done. This is how we are supposed to get it. This is nothing but in ascending order, it should arrange all the numbers. Okay. Now, what I'll do is, I'll quickly copy the code and show it to you guys in a compiler. Okay. Online compiler will go to that. Yeah, give me 1 second. Till then, you guys go through the code and ask me if you guys have any doubts. All right. I'll move my screen. 1 second. Yeah. I hope the screen is visible. On my left hand side, I have the program. And on the right side, I have the output for this one. Now, I'm asking the user to give me numbers. Okay. I need multiple numbers over here. Okay. So, 12, 5, 3, and 8. Okay. I give enter. See, I got it right. It is being sorted. Now quickly go through the code and ask me if you guys have any doubts. Yeah, it's not being sorted, is it? Hmm. All right. See now, I hope there is no doubts in this one. Nextly, we'll go to merge sort program. Okay, now the same way, what we're going to do is firstly, there is a function or there is a method called as merge sort. It is a user defined function. Okay, it is not it is not a specific keyword. You can write it however you want. You can write MERG SORT or whatever you want to write because it is a user defined function. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to check the condition first. That is, if the length of the list, okay, if the length of the list 1, it is greater than 1, what to do? We need to take the middle value of the length. Okay, how do we get the middle value? We need to divide it by 2. Okay, and then the left of the middle, the values on the left side of the middle will be written like we'll be getting the values on the left side of the middle value in this way, and the values on the right side of the list, okay, will be here. Okay, now what we have to do is we'll merge left, we'll merge right. Okay, we'll merge left and right, and firstly we'll initialize I, j, and k to 0, and then while I of left, okay, is greater than I and j is smaller than length of the right, what we have to do is it will enter the loop, and if left of I is less than right of j, what will happen is this list 1 will be getting the value of left 1. Okay, basically what it is doing is, suppose our left side values are smaller than the right side values. Okay, so the smaller values should be displayed in the beginning, right? So what we'll do is k over here, okay, the highlighted, the blue highlighted one, what k is doing is k is putting the values into ordered form. Okay, now when we have the left side value smaller than right side value, obviously the left side value will be printed first, right? So in the condition C, if the left value is smaller than right value, what will happen is left will be printed. That is, left will be put into K. Huh? And ultimately K is being printed, so left will be printed in the beginning only. Okay, then what we have to do? We have to increment the I value because we have to go to the next number, and then we have to increment the K value because Just now we have only displayed one number. Now we have to get one more number, right? We have a couple of numbers. It is not just one or two numbers. Now we have to go through all those numbers to check if they are small or bigger than the other one. Okay. So we are incrementing k value as well. Okay. Else, if the left value is not smaller than right value, if the right value is smaller, what we have to do is we have to put the value of k as right one. Now, because right is smaller than left, so obviously smaller will be displayed. Obviously, it will be put it into k because we are going to print k value. All right. Next, here we are making use of j columns. Okay. So j is being incremented. Okay. And in the similar manner, k is being incremented. All right. These conditions are done. Now, there is one more condition. If I is less than length. Okay. If I is less than length, what to do? List k is equals to left of I. If after all these steps, if there is one value left, okay, one value is remaining, and we'll check that whether that remaining value is less than left side values or it is greater than left side values. Okay, if that remaining element is less than left side values, we will print it. Okay. So we are incrementing I, again we are incrementing k. All right. Now we have seen if the element that is remaining is less than left. Now we'll check if the remaining element is less than right one. Okay. If it is less than right side elements, then obviously it is the smaller one, isn't it? So that should be printed. So for that, k will be put it over here. And then j will be incremented, k will be incremented. In the similar way, we are going to print the following statements. Okay, and in the end, we are calling the function over here. Print value is here. Above that, we are calling the following function. All right. Yeah. Now what I'll do is I quickly copy this function into our program. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Okay, this indentation is taking a while. Yeah. This is the last one. Give me 1 second. Yeah. This is okay, it's not taking the values. What we'll do is, till then, we'll go to our next program and I'll show you this by the time we are done with that one. Okay. Yeah. What we'll do is, we'll quickly go to this program first. Okay. Yeah. Now, in this program, what we're doing is, we are going to compare two sentences, okay, or two strings we are going to compare. So, what is the basic requirements of writing this program? One, you have to ask the user to enter string number 1, and the other is you have to ask the user to enter string number 2. Okay, then we have to check which of the two strings is smaller. Okay, suppose if string number 2 is smaller than string number 1. Okay, then what we have to do is, we have to define two variables, that is long and short. Okay, and inside the short one, we have to mention that length of the string 2 is shorter one and the length of the string 1 is longer. Okay, now if the condition is reversed, suppose if the string 1 is smaller than string 2, okay, what we have to do then? Then we have to write the value of short is length of string 1. Okay, and the value of long is length of string number 2. Okay, now next, we are going to use another variable called match CNT. Okay, that stands for counting how many matches are there in the two strings. Okay, now suppose, okay, now suppose all the number of elements in string 1 and string 2 are same. Okay, the number of elements in string 1 and string 2 are same. What we have to do is match count, that is number of elements are matched. Okay, suppose all the elements in string number 1 and string number 2 are together matched, all the elements are same, then what we have to do is increment the count by 1. Okay, now the value of count is changed from 0 to 1. Okay, similarly, again, if you check it, again, okay, again, if you check two different strings, again, if the numbers are same, okay, number of elements are same, then the count will be incremented to plus 1 again. So the count is now 2. Okay, and the value of count is 2 now. Next, what we have to do is, now what is the similar thing that is between those two strings? We have to know that also, right? So we're going to print it. Okay, that's it. That's how we're going to do it. This is a very easy one. Okay, just go through it. Okay, now see, we'll go through the program now. Here, str1 is the string 1, short form for string 1, and str2 is the short form for string number 2. Okay, in this particular sentence, we are going to ask the user to give us the input. Okay, for the first string, and for the second string, here we are asking them to give the input. Okay, and if the length of string number 2 is less than string number 1, this is our first condition I told. Okay, now we have two strings and we have particular values present in both the strings. Now we are checking for first condition, that is if our string number 2 is less than string number 1. Okay, if that is true, what we have to do? Short equals to, now short is a variable, we are defining it. Okay, and long is also a variable that we are defining. Values are being inserted into two variables. Okay, done. First condition is now not satisfied for some reason. We'll go to the else part. Now, what is the condition for else now? The condition for else is string number 2 is greater than string number 1. Okay, or else string number 1 is smaller than string number 2. Okay, if that is so, what we have to do? Short again is a variable. To that, length of string 1 is being inserted, and in the long, length of string number 2 is being inserted. All right. Now we have checked, we are done with both the possibilities. All right. Now what we have to do is match count equals to 0. Now match count, that is match CNT. Okay, CNT is a short for count. This is also a variable. It is a user defined variable that it is defined by us. I am initializing the value of match count to 0. Okay, because I want to start my count from 1. Okay, so when I initialize it from by 1, each time there is a match, the count will be increasing 1 at a time. Okay, suppose now it is 1, the next time again a match is found, the count value will be 2, the similar way 3, 4, 5, so on. Okay, yeah. Now comes our for loop. Now why is a for loop used? I want my matching to be done for all the values, right, present in the strings. Okay, it is not like I only want to see the match for first element only, isn't it? So if I have to go through each and every element present in both the strings, I need to use for loop. Okay, and what is the range of I? I should be in the range of length of the shorter string. Okay, why is it short string? Why is it not the longer one? Okay, just think a little. All right, if you are suppose giving the range as the long, okay, now after a certain time, suppose there are 4 elements in short length, okay, and there are 7 elements in the longer one. Okay, now first elements will be compared, the second elements will be compared, third elements will be compared, and the fourth elements will be compared. Okay, now in the shorter length, your number of elements are over now. 4 was the last element. Okay, now what will you do if you give the range of the longer ones? There are 3 more elements left, right, to be compared. Now it will show you error because there is no other element to compare only. Okay, so what we have to do is give the short string. All right. Okay. Now what you have to do is, yeah, after doing this, okay, now short you guys have understood. Now what you have to do is, now you have to see. Now we are matching I and I. We are matching the elements of each elements of both the strings. I told you, right? First, second, third, fourth. Okay. Now suppose if there is a match. Okay. Any one of the suppose first element is a match, then the count value will be 1. Okay. Again, it will go back to the for loop. Again, it will check for second element. If suppose second element is also match. Okay, second element is also a match. Now it will go to count. Obviously, when it is a match, again it will be incremented to +1. So now the count value for us is 2. Okay. Similarly, it will go for loop again. Now it will compare the third values of both the strings. But now you will observe that the third value of both the strings are not similar, are not same. Okay, so the count value will remain same. It will not change, it will not be incremented. Now the value of count is 2 only. Okay, now similarly, again it will go. Okay, now it will compare fourth variable in both the strings. What will happen now? Now what will happen is count will be incremented by 1. Now the total count is plus 3. Okay, the total value of count is 3. Okay, done. Now we know how many matches are there. We have to print that. The similarity or the match between two strings is 3. If you want to display count. Okay, or if you want to display which elements are similar, you have to simply write outside this apostrophe. What you have to write is strl1I. Okay, it will print the number that is similar. All right, I'll quickly copy this code and I'll move my screen so you guys can understand. Yeah, over here. All right, I hope you guys can see it. Yeah, on the left hand side, I have my input. Sorry, I have my program written. And on the right hand side, I have my output. All right. Now, here I'm printing, enter the first string. Okay, what I can do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, there is a problem with this one as well. So taking. Yeah, I'll share this PPT in group as well. Yeah. Yeah, correct. No indentation at all. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see I'm going to run this program. It is asking me to enter the first string. Okay. Now I'm going to enter the second string. That is 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. See? Okay. This is a required output. Now what I can do is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right. Now see, it is showing me that these both are similar, right? Completely similar. So the output that I'm getting is 1. If these both strings are not similar, suppose 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. Right. Yes, suppose there is 1, 2, 3, then there is 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now see, now similarity between 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 is none, right? So it is showing 0. Okay, even if one number is different. Okay, let's see 1, 2, 3. Let's see it like this. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. See, they're all similar, they're all same, right? It is like a boolean. Okay, if they're similar, it is true. That is 1. If even if one number is not same, okay, even if one number is not same, then both the strings are not same at all, right? So it will be 0. That is false. Okay, that is the whole topic for this one. Yeah, yeah. That's it for today's class, and I'll see you guys in the next one.